Those of you who've been watching my mailbags for a while will know that I've accumulated a small pile of USB cables for powering stuff, like we all do. And I've also got some connectors, some of the female connectors, so that we can connect them up to a test rig of my own devising. Now then, what I'm testing for is not the data capability. That just works or it doesn't work. What I'm testing for is, can they actually handle a charging current? For instance, for charging my phone, the one that you're using here to watch this. Devices these days tend to charge at like over an amp. I think my tablet can charge it up to 2 amps. And that's just using these USB micros, not even getting into USB-C, like that one there, because it can negotiate a higher power and higher current, or higher voltage. But what I want to check is are these things actually capable of being used for charging at any reasonable rate? Because those wires look pretty skinny. This one and this one are dollar store cables. This one and this one and that one are from eBay. That one came with a power bank. This one is a Samsung. No, where is it? Yeah, this one is a Samsung branded cable. It came with a phone. This one is a BlackBerry branded cable. Obviously came with a phone too. So my testing methodology is going to be, I'll wire this female A jack up to my power supply, which is pretty stable voltage output, and I can monitor the current on it as well. Because the current is going to be the same anywhere in a circuit, it's just as easy to monitor it there. And I don't care if it's 100% accurate, as long as it's consistent from one cable to the next. However, in my previous playing with this thing, it is very close. Close enough, anyway. To minimize the influence of my test rig in this, I'm going to make up some short wires to reduce the losses, the resistive losses. And to do that, I'm going to use this old PC power supply cable, which is 20 gauge wire. I'm just going to use short lengths of it, but 20 gauge wire is going to be heavier than anything that's in there, and the shorter I can keep it, the more realistic this test is going to be. And the same thing at the other end. I'm going to connect these guys to a power resistor, because I don't want to cook a small resistor. Obviously, I'm going to be pulling, hopefully, an amp, so I don't really want to cause smoke and fire. It's not unintentionally. It's all good to do that normally. So I've got 2 resistors here that I found out of my assortment, a 7.5 watt ohm and a 10 ohm resistor. And based on their tolerances and whatnot, I thought I'd get fairly close to a decent load here. So that is as close as you're going to get to 5 ohms. Let me just try and get closer on to stab onto this and get through the crud. 5.03 ohms. That's pretty close. So, with a little bit of Ohm's law magic, 5 volts over 5 ohms equals 1 amp. So that's what this thing is going to draw. And then I'll be able to measure with, again, the expensive voltmeter that I borrowed from work, what the actual voltage is here, because that's going to be, or give us the voltage drop through the cable. We'll subtract that from the voltage that we subtract that from the voltage going into it over here, and that'll tell us our losses. Right? So the first thing to do, I don't think this is too exciting. I don't know, do you want to watch me cut wire and solder? It'd be easier if I hadn't lost my wire cutters.
Later that same evening.
Okay, so I was going to measure that. Okay, so let's turn this on. And I'll measure the voltage at the back, coming right off the power supply. Come in. Okay. And turn it up until it's exactly 5. Okay, so there we go. We can agree that that's as close to 5 volts as we're going to get. This happens to say 5.11, but we'll just go with that. There's the current reading. Okay, so with this short little cable that came with the power bank, plug him in. Okay, that's reading 1 amp there. Probably should have put some meter socket or something on here. So that is 4.48, shall we call it? So that's got about a half a volt drop across it at 1 amp load. For a really short cable, that's not performance. 4.51. So that's pretty much the same thing. Ooh, 4.30. Should we call it 4.31? Be generous. Wow, that's not great. 4.70. That's the best one that we've had so far. What? 3.5? That's horrendous. 4.46. That's not too bad. Let's call it 4.16 just to be generous. Okay, let me just clear the deck here a little bit and get my results set up. Alright, here's the Rogues Gallery. From best over here, the Samsung cable that came with the Samsung phone. Second best, the BlackBerry branded cable that came with the BlackBerry phone. And then the next one is this one that came with a power bank, although that is really disappointing. For a cable that short, it shouldn't be losing that much power. The next two are a couple that, oh no, this is this one that I got off eBay that came with the USB-C adapter. And then the two from my local dollar store. And finally, the cheapest one I could find on eBay. It's just not worth the effort. It's just, that's, a lot of stuff won't even run off of that. I don't even know why you'd want that. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope that was vaguely informative. At the very least, I hope the testing method is useful to somebody. Obviously, you're not going to be buying these exact same cables. Although, if you want a good charging cable, stick with the ones that came with your phone. Thanks for watching. I will talk to you later.